let's talk about Netflix here, because Netflix is finding itself in a hell of a situation. Netflix is finding itself in a situation that it's going to have issues with. Now, I talked about recently that when Disney Plus comes out later on this year, 14.5% of polled Netflix users in the United States said that they would in fact pull out of Netflix, that they would pull out and go to Disney Plus because they want to see the content. Now, they were talking about just more or less the Disney content, but there's actually been a study, a new study that's actually a lot worse for Netflix, showing us here that Netflix's loss of Marvel movies may hurt subscriber growth. Now, not only are they going to lose subscribers, lose 14% of subscribers, 15%, but then it's also going to stunt their growth, which is going to cut into their overall profits. I think I did the math at like, that's $100 million a month or something. You figure the average cost of Netflix right now, I think is like what, $10 a month for your basic plan. We'll just run with that one. 14% or 15% of 100 million US users is $150 million a month. And that's just a quick rough estimate. And there's probably more than that, but that's a lot of money lost a month. It's over $1.5 billion a year. I mean, there's some serious money there. Anyway, it says here that some 22% of Americans in a THR morning consult survey say they would cancel their subscription if Marvel films like Black Panther left the platform. It's not even a question of if, it is a matter of when. This is not, oh, well, if Black Panther leaves Netflix, I'm going to cancel my subscription. Like, that's happening, right? Like, you do know that that's already planned. As soon as the contract expires, which I think is in a couple months, it's going away. It's going bye-bye. Infinity War, Solo, Black Panther, Ant-Man and the Wasp, all those movies are going floating away like a fucking turd in the wind. Anyway, it says here, if there was a trailer being made about Hollywood's escalating streaming wars, it might begin with this dramatic narration. In a world where Disney, NBC, Universal, Apple, and Warner Media are hoping to take down Netflix, can the service afford to lose many of its most popular TV shows and movies? The answer to that is, yeah, probably. I'll be honest with you. I legitimately think that Netflix has the better ability to sustain the loss because they've been investing so much in original content. But at the same time, they're going to it's going to take a significant hit. Now it says, one key question, as the rest of Hollywood plays catch up to Netflix's 149 million plus total global paying members. And it appears that the impending departure of Disney films from the service, namely its Marvel Studios and Star Wars titles, could make a dent among Netflix subscribers. Some 22% of Americans in this new poll said they'd cancel their Netflix subscription if Disney Marvel Studio films like Black Panther and Avengers Infinity War were removed from the platform, and 20% said they would drop the streamer if Lucasfilm Star Wars movies left the service. Well, the movies are leaving the service. The movies are leaving the service. It's not even like, I mean, at this point, are people like, are they going? And I'm going to, talk to people like, what you mean, man, Disney Plus? What is this? I just have Netflix. But then again, I do wonder, and this is where I'm going to get demographic, and I'm probably going to get a lot of shit for this one. But there are people in like the South that associate like one thing with one brand, right? So like you go to the South and you're all like, someone offers you a Coke and then you go, okay, I'll get a Coke. Well, it's not always a Coke. It could be a Pepsi, an RC Cola, a Dr. Pepper, a Mr. Pibb. It could be, it's a name and it's the umbrella. So I'm wondering if Netflix in some aspects is just the name for like the umbrella. It's not specifically Netflix, but it's everything just underneath this title. And look, it could be, could not be. I have no idea. I don't know. These guys probably know more about it than I do, but that's kind of what I think, because the people who would be using Netflix probably would know about Disney Plus at this point. Everyone's been talking about it for a while. Now it says among the 18 to 29 age group, those numbers rise to 35% who said they'd drop Netflix over losing Marvel Studio films, and 26% who replied that they'd cancel over losing Star Wars films. See, I'm not in the demographic anymore. I'm 37, so I'm beyond that 18 to 29 range. But see, I've got everything, the physical media, and then I also use Movies Anywhere. So like it's already on another service I've already paid for the digital copy. So for me, it doesn't impact me at all. But we're noticing now that people are in fact not buying as many movies. And that is a problem. I think it's one of the reasons why we're seeing a lot of these remasters and steelbook editions trying to like boost up sales a little bit. By the way, you can check out my series Blu-ray Therapy every Tuesday or Wednesday on youtube.com/Blu-ray Therapy, where I go to the store to show you what new things have been released. It's a fun series. I love it. And there's a new episode that came out today. Anyway, it says over the course of the past several years, Netflix has been spending billions on original film and TV content in order to decrease its reliance on many titles it licenses from traditional media giants. And then, of course, it talks about Disney Plus and everything else with that one. And so really what we're talking about here is a situation. We're talking about a situation where Netflix, with its 100 million US users, is going to run into a problem where a larger and larger number of them are openly admitting to canceling their subscription and moving over to Disney Plus. Now, Iger is like, we're not in the business of taking out Netflix. And the truth of the matter is they don't have to be. They're not going to take out Netflix. They're going to take on Netflix and they're going to cripple it in some ways. By pulling the Disney content, that's a big library. And Netflix's original content is, I mean, not all Disney stuff is good, but like some of the Netflix stuff is pretty terrible. Like I remember when Netflix was all like, we're going to do more The Magic School Bus, and it's going to be with Kate McKinnon as Miss Frizzle's like niece or something. I'm like, that's cool, man. I love The Magic School Bus. It is god awful. Like god awful. I went back and rewatched the original that's on Netflix and was like, this is dope. It's great still, 30 years later, I'm still loving the hell out of this cartoon with my kid, but the new stuff that they made is terrible. Like, where's the quality control on this one? And it's like, there's other things that they do that aren't very good, but there are shows that are fantastic, like Stranger Things, F is for Family. You're hard pressed to find a funnier animated comedy than F is for Family. And I will put it up against 21 seasons of South Park. That's how funny I think F is for Family is. But they are running into a problem. They're running into an issue here where they're going to start really feeling the effects. But like I've said before, they're investing a lot of money into original content. When Disney Plus announced what it's going to cost per month, the $7 per month, Netflix went to the bank and were like, hey guys, could we get an additional $2 billion to purchase, to make into new content, new original content? And the bank's like, sure, here you go. Enjoy your money, spend it well. And that's what they're doing. They're investing, and they're not only investing in just making content. I mean, look, this is real. They bought Millar World. So Mark Millar's comics, Wanted, Kick-Ass, right? Those things, Kingsman, those are going to be doing its own thing. So they're also going to be publishing comics underneath Netflix Comics, its own independent label. Not kidding you. They just got into to podcasting, or posting all their stand-up specials on SiriusXM. So they partnered with Sirius in order to do that. They're getting into book publishing. They just signed a deal with Dark Horse Comics in order to produce content based around Dark Horse Comics. And maybe, and I would not even be surprised at this, if Netflix eventually just buys Dark Horse Comics and then ties it into their Netflix comics under Millar World. That's what I think is going to happen. But then at that point in time, Hellboy and BRPD coming to straight up freaking Netflix, as it should be. I like the movie, but it would work better as a TV series. And then they've also talked about recently purchasing the Egyptian Theater on Hollywood Boulevard. So Netflix is not just looking at the streaming world. They're literally branching out into everything else they can get their hands on. And that is very fascinating to me. Like I said, if you want a company to watch, and I keep talking about this, if you want a company to watch for how they're going to change the face of entertainment, it is Netflix, because they're not just focused on streaming. They're focused on literally everything else. And the question then becomes, if they start getting into podcasting, like they open their own, XM radio station, can we get this show on there? Because that'd be dope, man. I'd sell my soul to Netflix. I got kids to feed.